know that any bills or any concerns that you may have, let me take my mask off. So y'all won't think that I've been drinking with
We don't drink on the job.
Oh, listen, around here, it's enough to make you drink. Could you give me a cup of Kleenex?
Okay, we're live now.
Okay, we're okay?
We're live now, Senator Benson.
Okay, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prince George's County Senate delegation hearing and voting for the night. Thank you so much. We're glad to see you. And we're going to begin. If you all are senators, if everyone has their agenda, we're ready to get started. The first bill has to do with Senate Bill 842. It's a work group to study assessment, treatment, and available resources for female youth in contact with the justice system. We are delighted and excited. We're overjoyed. We're proud to have with us tonight my great friend, Senator Attorney and State's Attorney Aisha Brayboy, who is just doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for all that you do, and I want to thank everybody that's working with you. So with that, we're going to have you to testify, please, on Senate Bill 842.
Thank you so much, Senator Benson, and I really appreciate your sponsorship of this important piece of legislation. With me today are the leadership of my Youth Justice Unit, including Mike Glenn, longtime state's attorney, as well as Ms. Lynn Celestin Antonin. So we are here to, first I'm going to testify in support of the bill and then answer any questions that you might have. So we welcome and support House Bill 842 as it focuses on the identification and redress of the immediate and unique needs of our female youth that are actually not really being met today, both in our juvenile system as well as young women in our adult system. And so it is critically important, and now we believe is the time that we look at what the facility needs are, the resources that are needed, that need to be dedicated to addressing unique needs of young women and youth who are in our justice system. And so we have been in touch with both the Department of Juvenile Services as well as the Department of Corrections. And both of those entities have identified the needs of women as something that is really lacking in the justice system, mainly because the majority of those who are in the justice system are male. However, we have seen a growth in the number of women and the serious nature of the crimes that some of these women and girls are committing. So it's really important that we have programs that are targeted towards them and that we devote the appropriate amount of support and resources to those programs. And for those reasons, I know that we had discussed this bill with DJS and Corrections earlier, and I know that they are very supportive of this this bill. And I think we may, Senator Benson, just need to include the Department of Corrections on the work group so that we can, again, address the needs of the young women who may be 18 through about 26 or so who are in our corrections facilities who will need a lot of support as well. So I think that would be the one amendment that we would just request that the Department of Corrections be added as a member. But thank you so much. And again, I have Mike Glenn and Lynn Celestin here if there are any questions.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And now we'll want to hear from Mr. Glenn.
Thank you, Senator.
Are you going to be testifying, or is Ms. Anthony going to be testifying?
We were available for questions if the panel had any questions for us, Senator.
Does anyone have any questions that you would want to ask at this time? So you're asking us to add an amendment to this bill, Senate Bill 842, which will more than likely, well, I don't know which committee this is going to be assigned to, but does anyone have any questions? Senators, do you have any questions that you want to ask at this point in time? We certainly would like to welcome any questions that you may have.
Madam Chair, I move favorable on the bill.
I'll second.
Is there a second?
So you actually
Second.
need to, I'm sorry, I just want to interject. You actually need to vote on the amendment if you're going to adopt that, and then you can vote on the amendment and the bill.
I meant to say.
Okay, let's start with the amendment. On the amendment.
Second.
On the amendment, Senator Peters.
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we show favorable on this, on the amendment. Are you ready to vote? Are there any questions? Okay, those who are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone who oppose? No. On the bill as amended.
Pass. I'll pass because I missed the amendment. I apologize, Madam Chair. I just ended a meeting, so I'm going to pass. I'm
Okay.
assuming it's great.
On the bill as amended.
So moved.
Favorable.
Second.
Been moving properly second that we support Senate Bill 842 as amended. Are you ready to vote? Any
Yes.
questions? Those who are in favor,
Aye.
say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposing? Thank you all very much.
Thank
That
you.
takes care of Senate Bill 842. Moving right along, Senate Bill 739, Prince George's County. We have our wonderful senator who has been my friend from ground floor. When I came to the House of Delegates, one of the first people who took me under his wing, along with wonderful Pauline Dennis, showed me the ropes, and I will never forget that.
Senator, she must need a vote. She must need a vote on the floor tomorrow.
Madam Chair, thank you very, very much. That's very kind. Anytime anybody mentions Pauline Menace, I get a smile on my face. So I appreciate
On
it.
Senate Bill 739, Senator Rosebeth.
Yes, this is a little bill for the University of Maryland
Yeah.
and City of College Park. And we have a new restaurant called the Hall College Park that is basically behind the big new hotel we have on the other side of the parking lot. And it's a real high quality place run by real high quality folks. And it's designed to be both a restaurant and a musical and performance venue. And so in addition to the restaurant area, there's a big outside area when after COVID, we'll be able to have outdoor entertainment. They also have a hall, literally, they call it the hall, to be able to do indoor activity, entertainment again, basically. One of the things that they very much feel strongly about once we get past COVID is for some of the performances that they want to bring to Prince George's County. They would like to be able to have folks who are under 21 years old stay for a performance like from 8 to 10 or 11 o'clock, something like that. And the current law for the kind of license they have would not allow that. And so obviously we all have very great concern. And the reason we passed those laws years ago dealing with the kind of parties that were going on in some of our liquor establishments. They came to the university and they came to the city and they came to the city university partnership and said, we'd like to do this. And so we spent months working with them on a process that is laid out in an amendment to their lease, because I should say it's the university owns the land under the restaurant. And so now there are detailed provisions in the lease that say the circumstances under which they'd be able to do this, what kind of reporting they need to do to the city and to the university and to the city university partnership. And so the bill, we talked to the liquor board about it, and their view, they thought they might have authority under existing law to do this, but because they didn't want to, frankly, open up a hornet's nest of problems in other parts of the county that aren't focused the way this is, they wanted to have legislation that was very specific in this case. And that's why this is a very, very narrowly targeted bill. So that's essentially what it is. We have Eric Olson, who most of you know, former councilman and executive director of the City University Partnership, who worked very closely on this with the city and the university. And then we have, I don't see the gentleman from the hall, but he may be here.
He was traveling tonight.
Oh, he couldn't make it.
Okay.
Okay, so with
Okay,
that,
we-
Madam Chair,
Are there any questions that you all, before we have my wonderful friend, Mr. Olson, to speak? Are there any questions relative to this bill? What you've said to us is that this bill only impacts one establishment. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you. Now we will hear from wonderful Eric Olson.
Thank you, Senator Benson. It's great to see you. It's great to see all the senators from Prince George's County. There's not a lot I can add to my great senators' comments here, but we do support the bill. The College Park City University Partnership supports the bill. We did work, as Senator Rosa Pep said, very closely together with the city and the university, and to make sure that this is a very narrow bill. The hall is as he mentioned, it's a place that is a restaurant as well as a entertainment venue. So you can imagine, students going to eat there and have there being music going on and that kind of thing. After 9 o'clock, they want to make sure that, people younger than 21 can be there. But this really goes toward the goals of what we're trying to do here in College Park and the area to make it a more thriving center for the arts, for culture, for entertainment. And this bill really does that. We're becoming much more of a job center. As we were talking a little bit before the meeting, we were talking about all the redevelopment that's happening here and increasing the tax base. So we're having more and more people work here and live here, and we want to make sure that we have the venues like this that are thriving. And this bill is very narrow, and it supports economic development as well as entertainment. And it also is very tight in terms of making sure that underage people are not allowed to drink. I mean, that's something that Senator Rosa Pep is very adamant about, and we all are. So we think this is a pretty tight bill and a good bill, and we'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
You ready for a motion?
She's on, Madam Chair, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Does anyone have any questions that you would like to ask at this time?
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
What's your pleasure, senators?
Is the county exec and the county council on board? I just assume you are if you haven't said anything.
Senator Roosevelt, can you answer that question?
Well, the representatives of the council and the executive are here.
The representatives from the county executive's office are here tonight. Ron, has the county executive, have you all had this discussion relative to this important bill?
We're okay with it, Madam Senator.
I'm sorry, Rhea.
Okay,
We are okay with the bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, that just to follow up on Senator Peters' question, I was just going to ask if anybody was opposed to this. Like, I'm assuming the city and everybody's all.
No,
It's all worked very closely together. So thank you,
Okay,
Senator.
we're gonna
That's why Eric is here representing the city and the university.
Oh, I thought he was, that's the partnership.
He speaks for all of
Exactly.
them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll catch up eventually.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Okay.
okay.
okay. Destiny, do we have any opposition?
Indeed.
Not on record.
Destiny?
Not on record.
Okay, no opposition on record. Okay, you've heard the testimony. What is your pleasure, senators?
I move favorable.
Second.
Been moved and properly second that we give a favorable report and have it sent to the proper committee on Senate Bill 739. Are you ready to vote? Are there any questions? Okay, those who are in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody in opposition? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you don't have to leave, Senator, all right?
I'm not gonna-
Now, we do have on the agenda, if you all would look, we do have House Bill 619, House Bill 626, and House Bill 635. Would we ask that, Destiny, could you comment on why we made a decision not to hear those bills tonight?
Madam Chair, we're due to hear those bills tonight. We're just not voting on them. So we're going to hear them.
The House has not moved on these bills?
Not the full House. No, ma'am.
Ivy, do you want to comment on that, please?
Oh, wait, a minute, Madam Chair. I mean, if they're not in our position,
Yes.
why should we spend time on them? I mean, if I don't know if the House is going to pass them or not. I don't know what they are. I think it's a little premature.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're not going to act on them
We'll hold
tonight
'em.
because they have not been heard in the House. Okay,
Senators.
yes,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
yes. Delegate Ivey.
Thank you, Madam Senator. You're correct that the speed monitoring bills have not been voted out yet. The flood study bill has been voted out of the county delegation, but it is still waiting to receive a vote in the standing committee.
Okay, and the other two the same?
I'm not aware.
The other
The
two,
other two are the same.
Madam
Yes.
Chair.
Madam Attorney?
Correct.
Can you come?
Yes, Madam Chair. So all three House bills have made it out of delegation. They have not crossed over into the Senate yet. I believe
Okay,
the
so-
idea was just to be proactive to try to move things along given the circumstances.
Okay.
We do have one
All right,
Senate
that
bill
takes care-
that's ready.
Correct. There is one more Senate bill on the agenda.
Yes.
There's one more Senate bill, and that is from my wonderful friend, Senator Jackson. Senate Bill 931, School
Yeah.
Facilities and Public Safety Surcharge and Report Sunset Extension. Could you speak to that, my wonderful friend?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 931 is simple and straightforward. It just extends the Prince George's County school facilities and public safety surcharges from 2021 to 2024, and correspondingly extends the required findings reporting deadline from December 20th, 2020 to December 20th. I'm sorry, to December 2022. This legislation will merely allow the county to continue with this surcharge to continue enabling them to use the funding that it generates to offset costs and to properly fund both its public safety and school systems. With your permission, Madam Chair, first I would love a favorable report on the bill, but with your permission, I'd like to introduce my witnesses, Ms. Angie Rogers and Ms. Rhea Harris. With your permission, Madam Chair.
Excuse me.
Seek a favorable
before
vote.
you speak-
You have questions?
Okay, before you
sir?
speak, Ms. Rogers, do you have a question, Senator Patterson?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Senator Jackson, for bringing this bill forward. And I was just thinking, I think, Senator Griffin, didn't you introduce this bill initially when you were in the House a long time ago? Was this part of, no? Okay, fine.
Or
Okay.
it probably was introduced when I was chair of the delegation, but it wasn't my bill.
Oh, okay. Senator Jackson, I'm just curious, what kind of monies average do we get per year?
I don't think.
That's why I have my expert witnesses here, Senator. I'd have to defer to them, but I do appreciate that. I'd like to know that myself.
Okay, and I got one other question.
You have one
Are
other
these
question,
monies-
Senator Opinski?
Yeah.
After
these
Senator
monies-
Patterson.
Is there a line item for these monies, or they go directly to the general fund?
Again, sir, my expert panel will be able to answer.
Okay.
that. I'm actually introducing the bill on behalf of the county executive. I forgot to
All
mention
right.
that.
You done better than I did today at your committee, okay?
I looked out for you there in my committee as well. I looked out for you.
Okay, Senator Pinsky?
Yeah, look, I've always supported this bill. I think we need it. The one question I have, and it's come up, and we've heard from constituents, are the rates that are charged high enough? And I guess my question is, there been any study to see whether we're getting the most bang for the buck? I mean, the people want to pay as little as possible, but we need money for schools and police. And I just don't know if there's been any review by anybody to see whether the are appropriate or whether we should be pushing them a little higher. So, but again, I'm sympathetic to the bill, support the bill, but I'm curious to know if there any homework's been done.
All right, Angie.
Thanks for that question. I'm curious as well. Yeah. Thank you, Senator.
I'm going to refer these questions to the one person who can really answer them, and that's that bright, articulate, wonderful Angie Rogers.
Good afternoon, and I certainly appreciate the spirit of this group. Angie Rogers, I'm the DCAO for Economic Development for the county. So there hasn't really been any study on the school surcharge. There's been quite a bit of conversation about the public safety surcharge, and particularly for areas outside the Beltway. Some thought put into raising those, but not really for schools. That hasn't been articulated, or that hasn't been studied at all. In terms of Senator Patterson's questions about sort of whether these are specific line items, they are specific line items in the county's budget. I would have to consult with the folks from our Office of Management and Budget to tell you how much has been collected in surcharge fees over the past couple of years. You know, what it is per project obviously depends on the type of project that it is and how many, since we're charging on a per unit basis.
I just want to add that in extending the sunset so that we can get some more action out of it instead of letting it die in June of this year. We also extended the report so we could give a report this year about the projects so that we can answer those questions.
Right. If I could just say,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Senator.
I would be curious to know how much is generated as a result of the surcharge. Can you give us a line by line? Senator Pitt has hit the nail on the head. The question now becomes whether or not we're doing the correct, imposing the correct charges, surcharge on the school facilities and public safety surcharge.
Sure, we can definitely have our Office of Management and Budget run a report to tell you how much has been collected. I was trying to look quickly through my email and remember who's, because I've asked that same question in the past, how much, and I can't pull it up fast enough while we're talking, but we can get that.
Yeah, but Ms. Rogers, look, giving us a total is nice, and I appreciate that. I think the question is, you know, if a developer puts up 200 homes, I mean, how much money are we bringing in? If that brings in 50 extra kids, can we pay for it? I catch hell at PTA meetings when they say, you know, all this development, are they paying? Or are they paying enough? I mean, I hear that all the time. And I don't know, you know, and I sort of dance around it a little bit. And I just know for either a commercial project or residential project of a couple different sizes, how much it's bringing to the coffers of the county, because maybe they can pay more, or we should ask them to pay more. And I don't know if the council has reviewed it or looked at it. And I don't know how many, over the last 10 years, I don't know how many times it's changed. That's all. So I appreciate getting a gross number. We want to be able to build more schools, and we don't want to skip. So that was my only question. And again, Senator Jackson, I don't want to slow this down, but this comes up all the time.
Well, I can tell you this, Senator Pinsky, and I appreciate your concern. And what I will say, Ms. Rogers and Ms. Harris, the bill goes to Senator Pinsky's committee, so we need to get that information. We need to get that information, and it's actually information that we should all know, and we do need to periodically assess, you know, the things that we're doing in the county to make sure that we're not overburdening our resources any further. So great questions.
Madam Chair?
Yes. Yes, Senator. Senator Rosapap.
Yeah, thank you. On Paul's question, a couple of years ago, I chaired a work group that we set up when the question was coming up about exempting projects near the Purple Line stops.
Mhm.
And so we had a group that included the county council members, included citizens, included a whole bunch of folks. We looked at exactly this question. And my two takeaways from it a few years ago, so don't absolutely hold me to it. But my two takeaways was A, neither of these fees raise what I would call a very significant amount of money. And so if you think about the school budget, the public safety budget, this money is like, it's helpful, every dollar counts, but it's not a big deal in terms of either of those budgets, either the school construction or the or the public safety, number one. Number two is, and I asked exactly the question you asked, where is the data? What do we know about what the right level should be? And it wasn't that people weren't being cooperative, is nobody can find anything because it's hard to study because the local market kind of drives it. I mean, the reason a place like a Montgomery County has much higher fees is because they have much higher demand for development. And the reason we have lower fees is we have lower demand for development. So I just pass that on. I'm not saying we shouldn't do more studies. I'm not saying we shouldn't think about it. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but I just want to pass that on because we did look at that in some detail.
Where's the report? Did a report come out?
Yeah, there's a written report that Park and Planning staff did. Park and Planning has it.
Park and Planning
Okay.
has the report?
Yep.
We'll see if we can
Well,
get
we
report
need-
done.
Every year, there's an annual report done to the state and the county on this issue.
Yeah, there's an annual report as well, right? Right.
I guess another issue we should think about is now that we're going to use a P3 model to build schools, how does this affect that? Because that's different kind of money now. You know, that's so another thing we could throw in to take a look. I support the bill, but it's a different model now. So it's to see how that works.
When you say it's a different model, could you clarify that, Senator?
Well, we used to go out and get a bond and build a school. Now we're going to build 6 schools at the same time and take, I don't know, $30 million a year to build these schools. It's going to go to a third party. So question is, how will this money just maybe take care of old schools that are currently bonded, or is it going to go to no P3 money? So
question.
We should look at that.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Senator Jackson? Did you hear that, Ms. Rogers?
I heard that loud and clear, Madam Chair.
Did you hear that, Rhea?
In my county partners, I've heard that as well, so we'll be ready.
We will.
How soon can we get back relative to this? We don't want to slow the bill down. Let's be clear about that. We do need to extend that sunset, but we do in fact need to get answers to the questions that have been posed here tonight.
Madam Chair.
Well, we do not yet have a hearing. The bill has been assigned to Senator Penske's committee. We do not have a bill hearing yet. I mean, I guess Ms. Rogers and Ms. Harris, I guess you all can answer the turnaround on that.
I think of the old reports
before I hear it.
Yeah, of the old reports, that will be easier to pull out. The current numbers from OBM may take a couple of days for them to just run the report so we can have a comparison. But I think by at least Tuesday, we should be able to have numbers.
Yeah, Rhea, has it been scheduled for a hearing in my committee yet? I just
No,
don't know.
sir, it has not yet.
Well, has the bill been dropped?
Yes.
Yes, it's been assigned to your committee, Senator. We just don't know the date yet.
Well,
I think that they may have been waiting for the senators, since it's a local bill, they were waiting for the senators to determine whether or not they were willing to move the bill.
yeah, but Madam Chairman, we can have the hearing.
That we have this meeting
And
tonight.
just wait to vote on it until we get the letter. I don't want to slow this down.
Right.
If you call my office, I'll make sure it gets a hearing quickly. Normally, a lot of times we'll wait for the delegation letter. So I don't want to, don't want to slow it down. So call my office. I'll make sure it gets on next week. And we can still have a conversation until we send the delegation position. That's all.
Okay.
Will do, Senator. Thank you.
Those that
Okay.
that letter will be sent out tomorrow. Yes, sir. Senator Rosepap.
I mean, I think getting the reports are great, and I'd like to catch up, and I think other people would too. And the longer term information is going to take a longer term. Is there any reason we shouldn't just approve the bill tonight?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I move favorable.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Second.
It's
Yeah,
been moved to
but-
properly second that we approve and support Senate Bill 931. Are you ready for the vote? Are there any questions?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
Oh,
so are we saying that the surcharge currently set is fine and we're happy with it? Or
The bill is asking for, the bill is,
Senator Jackson?
the bill is asking to extend the sunset, Senator.
Right.
right. But if we have the upper, who sets the actual fee? Is it us? Is it the county?
We delegated that to the county. We gave them authority to do it.
Well, and of course, the state can do what it wants to do, I think.
I know. Yeah, sure
If
we
it's
can.
not high enough. I mean, look, I want to extend it. I want to keep it going. I mean, and I guess I'll vote for it, but I just don't know if it's high enough. I don't know if it's bringing enough revenue.
Paul, I wasn't trying to jam you in any way. I thought you were saying it may not be high enough. It's something we had to look at, and I think the county agreed that we had to look at it. But I don't think we're getting an answer to that question
Right.
this session. That's the only reason I moved forward. But if you want to hold it up, feel free to hold it up. I don't.
No.
No, look, I don't want to be the bad guy here.
I'm not trying to ask you to be the bad guy. I'm just.
I mean, look, every 3 years or however long it is, we extend it. And I'm not sure we've given a critical view to whether it's high enough. That's all.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we do it next year, and if we don't think it's high enough, we come in with our own bill, tell them they have to raise it. You know,
I second that opinion. That's a good way to think about it.
Okay. Senator Patterson?
I'm fine.
That was my question. I mean, right now, I think before us is whether or not we want to extend the sunset, because if we don't, we might lose it all. So I think we got ample amount of time to come back next year and take a look at the whole analysis in terms of whether or not we need to increase it or perhaps decrease it. Maybe we got enough. I don't know. Okay.
I think that, we have a motion on the floor and on the question. Here's the thing. I think that we would be in a better position once we get the research from Rhea and Angie. That's going to help us. And it might be possible, Senator Pensky, that we might want to amend the bill after we look at the data. She said they would have the data ready by Tuesday. We might be able to look at it and
Have a bill before then.
amend the bill. Where did
Madam Chair, I got a question.
That's fine.
I think it goes up by the CPI every year, as I recall.
I think it does.
Right.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, and this is my last word, I just think between the council and the county executive and ourselves, at some point there should be a deeper conversation. Are we hitting these people up who are using the infrastructure of the county to kick in a little more for our schools? That's all.
Well,
I agree 150%. I do agree. I think you're absolutely correct. And guess what? There's a lot going on. And you're absolutely right. Everybody's got to pay their way because they're overcrowding our schools. And not only that, but we have also problems with infrastructure in these places where the building is taking place. So there are a lot of things we need to look at. So those folks who come to business and hold hands with us have to also help us about putting the money on the table to ensure that money is available, in fact, to do what we need to do for our school system, and so that our children will not be continuing to be in these overcrowded classrooms with all the other stuff that's going on. Okay?
Madam
All right,
Chair.
we're ready.
Madam Chair, I
Yes,
apologize.
yes.
How about this? How about we add an amendment to the bill asking the county to do exactly the kind of analysis that Paul was suggesting? And so we put the issue on the table, we'd frame it up, We'd ask the county to come back to us in a year with the analysis that Paul.
I think we
Okay,
said that
let's
about 3
pass it.
times.
Well, can I,
You want to pass it with an amendment that says that, say it again, Senator Roosevelt. What's your amendment?
Ask the county to study the question that Paul is raising about whether the levels are appropriate and come back to us in a year or whenever, by the end of this year, with their report.
All right.
Council?
Is there a second to that amendment? Is there a second to that
Madam
amendment?
Chair, I thought Senator.
We
Peters
had a
did it.
motion.
I might have misunderstood,
Okay.
but I thought he said there was already a study going on, that there is an annual report on this information. So is there, I guess I just need to,
Senator, no, let me just clarify if I confused it.
Okay, let's go. I'm
There is
sorry.
an annual report on how much money is coming in, and that's what we're going to get. What there isn't in an annual report or a structured way of going to the question of, is the level right from a market point of view? And I think that's what Paul is asking.
In other words, there's more involved than what we had asked for as of Tuesday.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's a longer term thing, not.
Did you get that, Senator Griffith?
yeah, but I guess I just don't know what they're
Yeah.
already collecting. To me, there's two questions out. One, as Senator Patterson said, do we want to extend the sunset on this bill?
We do.
And do
Yes.
we want more information?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, are the two connected or are they two separate conversations? I don't know.
What
Either
the
way,
motion on the
I'm
floor is
fine.
this, that we are definitely going to extend the sunset, but Senator wanted to amend the bill by suggesting or by stating that a study be conducted and be reported back to us by the end of the year. That's a part of an amendment to the bill. Are you all with me?
Suggestion, vote for
You
it.
can't amend something for you
I
against.
know it's late. And it's time for us to go home. Did that
Yeah.
make any sense to you all? Okay, are we ready on the amendment? Let's move on. Those who are in favor of the amendment, raise your hand so I can see who you are. Raise your hand. All right, anybody opposed? Thank you, hands down. Those who are in favor of the bill, on the bill as amended.
Favorable.
Okay, second,
Second.
all those who are in favor, raise your hand. Anybody opposed? Thank you very much. The bill is passed as amended. Now,
Thank you very much, Madam.
that's what we need to be
Chair.
talking about tonight. We're not going to act on those House bills. Listen, Delegate Ivy, get those people to move along here. Tell them, I said, get those bills over here.
Absolutely,
playing
Madam
around.
Senator.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you very
I
much.
hope I don't have to come over there and jump on anybody.
It would be very helpful if you would, in fact.
I'm not doing it. I've got enough
Don't do
over
that.
here. It's enough on my
Don't
plate.
do that.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
Y'all have a great
Anything else
evening.
for the good of the order? I thank you all for being so wonderful. Thank you once again, Destiny Drake West, for being so wonderful. And we know you. Do you have your marching orders?
I do. I have them all.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am. I have my marching orders. We're in
Okay.
good shape here.
Let me reiterate to the senators, anything that pertains to the Senate, to the senators. Would you all please be kind enough to take those concerns through Destiny, please? Destiny, they have your number?
Yes, ma'am. I provide them in the emails that I send out.
Okay,
Under
all right.
sale, so you please feel free to use it anytime.
Okay, any other announcements? Anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I mentioned this to you.
For being so wonderful, and thank you all for the work that you're doing, because
Vincent?
guess what? Night, day, 7 days a week, that's what we're doing.
Senator
Yes,
Vincent.
Senator.
Senator
Huh?
Pinsky had
You
a
just
comment.
waving at me?
No, Senator
Yes.
Pinsky was making a statement, so I wanted to hear what he was bringing up.
Yeah, I was just suggesting, we sometimes would have informal conversations with the former Senate president, between us on some issues. And I think there are probably issues that would be worthy of an informal conversation, not in a formal setting. But of course, we want to be under the sunshine and not do anything inappropriate. But I think we should figure out a way to have those conversations. Enough said.
All right. And
Maybe
your
a
point is
personnel
well
related
taken.
conversation.
And we'll put that in place. Because I think you're absolutely right, because there are some things that are coming down the pike that just impacts Prince George's County, and we want to be ahead of the game. Is there anything else that we need to be talking about? I want to thank this wonderful attorney for being with us tonight. We thank you so much, and we thank you for your advice. We thank you for the fact that you're working so wonderfully well with Destiny West. She's the person. She's the point person. Anything that we can, if there are any concerns, and also my wonderful, wonderful, great friend, Senator Patterson. He and I work together hand in glove.
All right, now.
I want to thank him for what he does. Thank you all so much, and for the work that you do. You take care of yourself, stay out of trouble, because I'm not available to get you out of any trouble. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Thank you, Madam
Good
Chair.
Bye-bye.
night.